stop coming in, coming in. Put up in a drop top, she dropped it. I put up in a drop top, she dropped it. My diamonds dancing high skies, they hold this. My diamonds dancing high skies, they hold this. Yeah, hold up. I don't know what planet I'm on. I'm a king, little bitch, watch the throne. I feel like Votto, I'll top off your arm. Yeah, steady, causing havoc. Yeah, bitch, I'm ballin' hard just like a maverick. Money stretch long, little bitch like elastic. Now that bitch steady calling me Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, hey, no, I keep a ratchet. If you claim, boy, I turn your ass to ashes. Automatic, doom, 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 bill, bitch, I'm blasting. Yeah, put you in a casket. Money sits long, it's elastic. I don't know what planet I'm on. I'm a king, little bitch, watch the throne. I feel like Votto, I'll top off your arm. Yeah, hold up, take a moment, count my guap, count my guap. All these racks bumming in, they bumming in. Hold up. Hey, count my guap, count my guap. Can I stop coming in, coming in? Put up in a drop top, she dropped it. I put up in a drop top, she dropped it. My diamonds dancing high skies, they hold this. My diamonds dancing high skies, they hold this. Yeah.
Astral worlds, my planet, my home. Clouds too high, the fumes too strong. Mix this cup for way too long. Add it up, don't subtract it. Yeah. Pour this egg with me and let's get blasted. Straight up, Lambo drop like a dragon. Can't fall asleep at night cause they attacking. Yeah, I hop in the coupe, go insane. I disappear, go David Blaine. We don't live the same.
Today, we're going to talk about the college football playoffs, CBB winners for tonight, and of course, the squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. Cooper Kupp might be washed. 4 targets, no catches. The guy ran a half a marathon. I've seen 20 tweets about it this morning. The guy didn't do a single thing.
Yeah, that was a frustrating bagel for a lot of fantasy owners.
Is this what we've become down in Blacksburg? Just complacent, happy to be going about our day and being a moose shit program, celebrating a kid getting 1 point against North Carolina A&T. He better fucking score a point. You're playing North Carolina A&T. He's leading college football, Jovan, in every single statistical category for a wide receiver. Every single one. And you don't give that guy the award? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. At the end of the day, you got to reward teams for winning fucking games. And if they're in a power conference, they're in a power conference. I'm tired of this big dick swinging contest between the SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and ACC. At the end of the day, you got to fucking reward winning. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 608 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your 2 hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by SeatGeek. If you're going to the games this weekend, maybe it's college football. If you're rich, you're going to one of these games, or if you're a fan or an alum, or maybe you're buying some tickets to go to the NBA or NHL games, buy your tickets on SeatGeek. I know it's been a while since we've been on BTL, but a while since we gave you the reminder. Buy your tickets on SeatGeek. Use promo code Bookit10 for 10% off all your future purchases. Jovan, hope you had a great Christmas. Chat, hope you guys have been cashing. All right, I know we took a little bit of a hiatus, a little break over the holiday, but excited to get back into it, Jovan, and cash today and start out the new year right with a squad ride winner later today. How we doing?
Doing great. Happy New Year, Krabs. Same to you, all of the chat. Excited to get at it, and we got a fat college football playoff slate today. So pretty excited for that, as we all should be.
We've got a great slate. We're going to talk about all these games, and we're going to get to this early game here in a moment. We're not going to spend any time messing around. So before we do that, we got Archie Gambles coming in, dropping a resub. Love to see that. 2 years, he says. Bang. Happy 2 years. Let's go, Archie. Sure we can. Happy New Year, chat. Thank you guys for joining. You guys are absolutely bricked up in the chat before we even started BTL today. Looks like you guys are excited. We're making our return. Excited to absolutely kill it in 2025. My lucky number is 5. You guys know that. We're going to have one hell of a year. I'm looking forward to this year. Squad rides in 2024. Nothing to, bitch about or complain about. They were still, 53%, 124, 114, and 10. But that's nothing to write home about either. So we're going to bounce back this year, Jovan, 2025, and start the year off with a W tonight. I'm excited to get to the squad rides. Okay. I'm sure chat is as well. I'm sure they've missed it. And yes, we've had some great things occur, since we've been gone. The Commanders obviously making the playoffs. Nate Lau coming over to DC to be a national. A lot of great things have happened so far, Jovan. Let's carry that positive energy into 2025. Okay.
Sure.
Had to sneak in Nate Lau in there. Come on.
I figured you'd sneak some Nats talk in there. Actually, incredible.
Let's see how many first basemen the Nats can sign, this month.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll set
the
world
record.
Room
Room for any of them. I don't really.
We got 10 first
I don't
basemen.
get it. I don't get it, but maybe it works.
We got 10 first basemen on a roster. We'll see how it plays out. Should be a good look. Chat, hope you guys are doing well. Good to see Ron Mux in the chat. We got Prime. We got Billy the Kid, all the OGs. Can we get a sound off? Can we get a roll call going? All our OGs, all of our goats in chats. Drop a 1, drop a what's up, drop a dub. I want to see who is in BTL. First day back. Who's in here? We got Seaburn, of course. Ron Mux. He was mucking on New Year's Eve. No other option. We got some new follows coming in as well. Good to see you guys. Okay. Real quick, before we get into the Sharp Report and the winners for today, I want to shout out LC and Raph. They're boots on ground. Not boots on ground, but boots on grounds. At the college football playoff game starting up in about 20 minutes. Okay, so if you want some content while you're sitting your ass on the couch today doing nothing on your day off, as you should be, by the way, chat, okay, as you should be, enjoy your day today. Make sure you peep LC and Rad's content. Make sure you peep the Bookit content today. Should be plenty of funny videos, funny posts. And let's see who ends up winning, Texas or Arizona State. We have yet to see a dog cover, Jovan, in the college football playoffs. Do you think today is the day we get one? Could it be this first game, or are they going to make us wait a little bit longer? What are you thinking?
I think they might make us wait a little bit longer, Krabs. Okay. Maybe until that second game.
All right. I wouldn't be surprised. And we'll talk about that in a moment here. Guys, I am on the Arizona State team total under 19.5. Gootsy, please don't get pissed. Rab, don't get pissed. It's not personal, just business. Okay. And look, they could still cover and maybe even win if Texas does what Texas typically does. And that's maybe not show up in the lights up right here. So that is the play, the straight bet I'm on in that first game. I also crafted up a 3-piece, Jovan, on Prize Picks involving a couple of your squares that we're going to talk about here in a moment. So why don't we go ahead and get to it? We'll go over those plays as well on Prize Picks. And let's hop into the Sharp Report winners for today. Okay. W's. W Goots as well. Goots, hope you had a great new year. I know you did. Okay. Can we get some W Gootses in the chat? Grinding in the background, producing like a king. Okay. First play today. There he is. Let's go, Goots. Let's go, Goots. So back. All right, guys. Let's keep moving and grooving. Let's hop into the first play of the day, and that's Ohio State ML. That should be a good look. That should be a good look. Everybody's on it. Twitter POD today. God damn it. But you know what? I'm trusting my guns. I didn't hear no bell, and it's still an Ohio State team with 2 losses as a favorite, catching steam throughout the entire week, probably because everybody and their Mima and Peepaw has also bet on the Buckeyes to hand Oregon their first loss of the season, Jovan. You saw the Dylan Gabriel interview where he was smacked as heck. Who the heck wants to bet on Oregon right now? I don't know, but they're undefeated. I don't get it. But I'm with the, sharps, and I'm with the squares on this one. Everybody and their mothers on Ohio State, along with myself. Should be a good look, but I didn't hear no bell, and I still think they're my natty champ. So I'm going Ohio State. I'm going Will Howard's, and I want to back that defense to show up and show out and carry them, the most expensive defense in college football, to show up once again and stun Oregon and hand them their first loss of the season. It's tough to beat a team twice. It's tough to go undefeated. Those are 2 things that I know, and I will lean into a team catching steam against the 1 seeds who is undefeated right now. I just can't stay off of it. I can't resist. It might be super popular. It might honestly be public if you look at the splits, but I can't resist a team that's already lost to Oregon once this year. Now is a favorite against an undefeated team, ranked number 1. I can't stay off of it. Has to be done. And Jovan, I'm sure you'll have a counter.
Yeah, I will, of course. We can talk about that in a second, but I guess I can start on my side of the plays with the game that's starting up right now. I don't really want to do it because, frankly, I'll be rooting against it. I would much rather see Texas go home and being pissed than have them win by 2 touchdowns. But unfortunately, I think the route that this game is going to go is exactly that. I don't think it's going to be straight belt to ass like a Indiana Notre Dame game was from the start, like Tennessee Ohio State was from the start. I think it can kind of mirror like what the Boise State game was last night, where they kind of hang around for a little bit, a little more offense out of Arizona State, because that's the part of their team that I really respect, and I think people don't understand is as good as it is outside of just Cam Scattaboo. So I think there'll be points in this game, but I do not think that in the end Arizona State's keeping this within the number. The one part that I guess stands out for me, I again really hate to say this because I despise them, and I just don't think he's a very good quarterback. But I think this is a really good Quinn Ewers game, which the thing about Arizona State, the corners are not very physical and relatively small for like all the teams that Quinn Ewers has faced and a lot of the other teams in the playoffs. So when Quinn Ewers is at his best, he's utilizing the deep ball and throwing up to his jump ball guys pretty much. They find a matchup they like and they really exploit it. That's what they did with a certain guy in the first half of the Georgia game before it eventually flamed out and they stopped going that way. And especially when you're going to be able to run the ball a shit ton more than they were in the Georgia game, that's a solid base for Quinn Ewers. So I feel like the deep shots are going to be connecting today. And again, I think Scattaboo and the offense can keep Arizona State in it for a while. Texas plays with their food, and then they eventually pull away in the second half.
All right. Quinn Ewers' fantasy score looking a little high to me.
Ridiculous.
Would not mind taking that more than we'll see how much time we have once we get to this sharp report if we have time to craft another lineup. But that one certainly stuck out to me and kind of scared me off the full game under that I liked all day because I'm thinking to myself, I want to take Arizona State. I can't take Arizona State because everybody on earth is on them. But at some point, a dog's going to be barking here because every favorite's just come through and absolutely mollywopped their opponent. That's not going to last forever, right? This is college football. If that was the case, right, and I just saw Quinn Ewers' interception square go up in front of my face after he's thrown 4 picks in the last 3 games combined, Jovan, that's probably a good-looking less than that just popped up right on the board as we speak, right in front of my eyeballs. So we can go ahead and lock in his less than half an interception. Along with that, more than the 18 fantasy score as well. Keep that one back pocket. But, Jovan, I went with the Arizona State team total under because I think Texas might put up some points in the second half of this game. I'm worried about them getting some confidence, and Quinn Ewers looking at that fantasy score, he might have himself a day against the Sun Devils. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, if you want to talk about things that are on the prize picks board, I think reflecting the way this game is going to go. I've been sneak noticing this in the first round of the playoffs games, but even some of the bowl games too. Whenever there's a running back that does not get a lot of burn up there for a touchdown, and you think to yourself, how are they going to score? It's probably going to be garbage time, and the lead's going to be big, and that's the only way they're going to be in the game. It's happened a lot more than you would probably think. It's every time I look at it, it spawns green because he's in the game late fourth quarter, or he just gets a random carry, I guess, early in the game because they're rotating a lot of running backs or something like that. And like Jarrett Gibson is on the board for Texas today. Which
I'll say is Jarrett Gibson that turned into Antonio Gibson prime and
Memphis. Yeah. Okay. Which I mean, I think they're going to be able to run the ball at will too. So I mean, they utilized him like a little bit against Clemson, not like all that much in terms of like it would make a lot of sense for him to have a touchdown on the board necessarily. Because I mean, you see the chart, you see the last time he scored, it's been like 5 weeks, but.
Yep.
Yeah, I do think that's happening.
If you're taking Gibson, you're taking that touchdown square, right? It might be the only one they have up for.
I don't think you have any other option. Yeah.
Okay. And
but
if you were going to take,
do have a touchdown score, I like a little bit better.
Okay. You want to go over it now, or you want to circle back?
I guess you might as well go over it now because the game's going to be starting up soon. What were you saying about Quinn?
Would you rather take his more than 18 fantasy score, or would you rather take his less than half an interception?
I don't know if you could take the less than half an interception. Can you? I think it's a demon.
Unless it just changed, Jovan, I'm seeing a normal interception for Quinn up on the boards.
Really?
Yeah. Unless it just changed. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I saw it pop up literally right in front of my face. It actually distracted me while I was talking about the team total under, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a peep. Yeah, it's a normal one. Is that weird that it's a normal square?
Yeah, maybe it is because it was a demon. I just refreshed and then it changed to a normal square. So that'll keep me off. I mean, I don't know. I like his fantasy score. The one thing that would worry me about that, other than maybe once or I guess twice because he has a 1.5 passing touchdown square. I feel like if I'm taking Quinn Ewers' fantasy score, I want all passing touchdowns or like that to be the script. I don't think that has to be the script in the red zone. It's like maybe it's just his yards or completions or something like that.
Okay. Why don't you go over your square in this game? I don't want to let it get swept. Anything else you have in this game, Jovan, let the people know about. Okay.
Yeah, just for, I guess, sake of bringing something new to the table because I'm still doing the square in every game. This one is Scatabo receiving yards. Oregon game is
Okay.
Dylan Gabriel passing touchdown or passing yards, and the rather than rushing yards for the late game. Wanted to bring something different, something else that I'm also playing in this game. So if you tuned into coin toss, I did say, and I guess I said it a little bit here too. I think one of the biggest advantages that Texas has is on the outside with size and their jump ball guys. And Isaiah Bond is back, which I think is big for Matthew Golden because realistically, Isaiah Bond's going to be getting a lot of attention because he's the wide receiver one in that room, and you're going to be seeing a smaller corner, a less physical corner on Matthew Golden. I think he's getting in the end zone in this game. I think he's catching a pretty big pass in this game, which, again, when they find like a matchup with him specifically for the last couple weeks, it's been the case, but really with anybody, they find a matchup against a smaller corner they like, they go to it a ton. And he's been huge for them. A lot of that's been because Bond's been in and out of the lineup, but he's just been really coming on the second half of the season. And now he gets his chance because he's been Quinn Ewers' kind of jump ball guy, and I feel like he's going to have quite a few opportunities down the field to do that in this game. So I think he gets in the end zone and taking a couple of things of his.
Sure. What's your second favorite square for Matthew Golden? If somebody's trying to take maybe not a demon, right? Is there a square that you would take for him or recommend?
Well, yeah, he's got a fantasy score up there.
Just take his fantasy. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. 11.5. Sure. I like that. Coming off 6.9 against Clemson, 10.3 against A&M. Sure, he balled against Georgia, but he certainly might ball against Arizona State and that secondary today as well. Okay. Matthew Golden. I'm in. Anything else you want to talk about in this Texas-Arizona State game? We're about 13 minutes from kick. I want to make sure chat gets all their Jovan nugs for this first college football playoff game.
Yeah, I mean my one square, POD square for that game is still Scataba receiving yards.
Yes.
Same as Genty, same read as Genty. And I know a lot of people are going to be on Scataba everything today, but when you're in what I think is going to be a trailing game script, which I don't think game script really matters for this because it's the toughest run defense by a long shot that Scatabo and Arizona State have seen so far this season. So like you don't want to be stuck in the playoff without the ball in the hands of your best player. So regardless of whether you're up or whether you're down, it's going to be a challenge to run. It's going to be a challenge to run on early down specifically, I think, for them at times. And what do you do when that happens? You want to get the ball to your best player. And if you're not able to do it on the ground, you get him in the ball in the short screen game. So like it's, I think I got him 27.5 yards and he's been bumped since like a couple yards. I don't really care. I think the game script is for him to break one, and Texas, like they don't, not that they won't care that Scatabo's like in the flat, but like you've seen it time and time again. I think you also took that like Phil Maffa square last week, right? In the first playoff
yards?
game. Yeah, it turned green like the first play of the game. Him and the freshman running back just had. Yeah, he had all the space in the world in the flat, and Texas has done that all year. It's like obviously they're going to tilt their way more towards Scatabo because he's the whole offense for Arizona State, but you're going to be force feeding it to him with design plays regardless because I don't think you're going to be able to run the ball as freely as you did against an Iowa State or a Kansas State or a Cincinnati.
Okay. I think that is a very good point, and I 100% agree. Chat's asking your opinions on Sam Levitt, and I want to bring this up. This is a perfect segue because I paired your Cam Scattaboo, more than receiving yard square, with your Matthew Golden touchdown square, along with Sam Levitt, less than fantasy score, less than 14.5. You think that's a good look today? Is that too ballsy? Am I getting too cute? What are your thoughts on the Arizona State QB who's been talking a lot of trash the last couple of days? He's a pretty confident guy.
I'd be a little scared about a rushing touchdown for that, Krabs.
Okay, that would suck because that's the one way somebody can produce and fuck over me fading them and taking their less than fantasy score, and they can still blow in the game and get a rushing touchdown. God.
Whenever I'm taking quarterback rushing touchdowns, it's like this exact situation where it's one of the tougher matchups from a rushing standpoint they face all season. So like I'm trying to think of like an example that I've used, like Anthony Richardson when they go against or when he played against the Jets, maybe, even though that was when they're a little better. Just like a really good rushing team, that's when quarterbacks pull the ball, when it's designed to pull the ball. So like I kind of feel like at the goal line, if they get down there, that's going to be a pretty big emphasis, I would think.
That sucks. I'm sticking with it though, and I like it, and I'll trust. And if he rushes one in and turns into fucking prime Lamar like he has all season when I've been fading him, I will tip cap and move on, and I'll say, you know what, he deserves to talk all that shit because he's him.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
Well,
charge
it could be on your side too. I don't know that he'll be like too deep in negatives if everything goes super, super poorly. But if the Texas D line shows up, you get a couple sacks. That would help.
That'd be cool, especially after a 33 piece when we took him last week. By the way, these prize pick squares we gave out on the college football playoff pods, did every single one smack?
Yeah, it's pretty sharp.
Pretty sure every fucking single one smacked that we talked about, because Sam Levitt rushing yards, that was 100% talked about last week, and that was maybe the greatest look of all time in his last game. Or maybe that wasn't on the pod, but we talked about that square and it was free. We've been cashing on these college football squares, and you've been carrying the weight as well on these PODs the last couple of weeks, Jovan. Keep it up. If you were to fade Sam Levitt today, because it doesn't sound like you'd want to fade his fantasy score potentially, would you fade his rushing yards after a 33 Berg against Iowa State?
I wouldn't be against it. Just because, I mean, I think the sacks could be a part of it too. It's not my favorite situation to fade him though, because I do think, I mean, I'm taking Texas minus 13. So if he has a shit first half or something like that, and the game script is going like the game script I think could go later in the game, it's probably going to climb over late. So that's my worry. I'd say that would probably be the way I would do it though.
Okay. Flatwoods fella coming in, giving you your respects, Jovan. He says, Jovan killing it with the PODs. Thank you again.
Shout out Flatwoods.
I could second that. I got my roommate texting me when I'm on vacation saying Jovan is on Fuego. He downloaded Fliff just to tail Jovan's PODs. Isn't that insane? I wish that was that's not a joke. That's legit. You've been on fire, dudes. You've been on fire. Can we get some W's going for Jovan with these squares? I'm probably jinxing it for today. Apologies, but you deserve your flowers. You've been grinding. You've been killing it with these squares. I know chat's been starving to see the POD graphics coming out. W. Daniel killing it with those as well.
Yeah,
keep it up, Jovan. Absolutely dialed in college football right now. Okay, knock on wood. Knock on wood. First time chatter coming in. HW Wint W's. He might be tailing if he's a first time chatter coming in here. Yeah, chat is bricked up, Jovan. Whatever you're doing, don't change it. Okay, keep doing you.
I just like bowl games, dude. Bowl games.
He likes bowl games, folks. He likes them. He's cashing. I like betting bowl games, straight bets. The bowl games have treated me pretty well. Not yesterday, that's for sure. But overall, I like betting the bowl games as well. What about Dillon Gabriel today? I know you talked about you're taking his more than passing yards, okay, which I could see happening hopefully in an L game script, as I have an Ohio State ML ticket in a future. You think this is just a free more than that I'm just fading and getting too cute with here, Jovan, with Dillon Gabriel? Is it just a handout, bingo square on prize picks? I see this, Mark.
You want my real answer?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay. That's beat.
But
you think he just goes off today? Tweaks?
I mean, yeah. Honestly, I do. Especially being, I feel like there are two very obvious overs in the second round. And one of them was last night that didn't end up going over with Penn State, Boise State. So the square one, I guess I'd be willing to lean into, I think, would be this one. So I am very much in support of Dillon Gabriel. I also do think he runs one in for what it's worth. So that could take away from it, which is why I want the yards route. But yeah, I think he has a pretty good day, to say the least. And I mean, I have a touchdown score on the Sharp Report. That's probably going to be catching a pass, not a jet sweep from Dillon Gabriel.
Let's hope it's one. Let's hope that's somehow, some way, the only one he fucking throws. Yeah, I was shaking in my boots when I saw that square. Real quick, because I do want to talk about these other two games, and I know you and Goots want to talk about the Irish, and we will spend plenty of time on that game. Okay, don't worry. Before we do, we got 5 minutes left until this Arizona State-Texas game kicks off, Jovan. I just want to make sure we have all of our bases covered. All right, we did a pretty good dive, on what we like in that game. I'm on the Arizona State team total under chat, under 19.5 as a straight bet in that game. Jovan, you're locking in Texas spreads, minus 13 you got?
Yep, right? And I'll be rooting to lose that outright.
Okay, good. Sure, win-win. Love that. Guys, I locked in a Sam Levitt less than fantasy score with Cam Scatterbo more than receiving yards, and Matthew Golden, more than half a rushing receiving touchdown. Those are two of Jovan's squares that I pair with my Levitt less than fantasy score. We'll see how that goes. Jovan, any other squares you like? Because I'm looking at Quinn Ewers more than 18 fantasy score. I'm looking at the Jarrett Gibson, and you're telling me he's turning into Antonio Gibson when he was on Memphis in his prime. He's scoring a touchdown today, maybe two on the ground. So I'm looking at those two squares. Is there another square we can take, probably an Arizona State one, and make this another three-piece for this early game? I wouldn't mind locking another lineup. I would not mind it one bit.
Wouldn't mind. I mean, if we're going another Arizona State route, I guess I don't want to say easy answer, but the only answer I could really think of would be Melquan Stovall, who, I mean, he had a big game, I guess, in the Big 12 championship, but that's also because that was first game without Jordan Tyson, who's not going to be back there again. So, I mean, if Arizona State's trailing and they're in a throwing game script, I think a lot of that goes to Scatabo, but you only got so many guys over there that have been proven. So, I mean, he would probably have to be the guy. I don't know if that chart kind of scares you off a little too much, but
it does. But
the script is the script. I don't know if it'll matter.
So does Guillory. So it's both are a little bit square. Although his receiving yards looks a little bit better, but
Guillory didn't do anything last week. I thought he was going to be the guy to step up a little bit, but he only got like 120-something yard catch, and it was when the game was already in blowout territory. He was a ghost.
And you don't want to buy low, buy the dip.
I wouldn't be against it. I think Stovall is probably the big play option. I guess if there's a chart that would probably, I don't know, pique your interest, is probably Guillory receptions. That is,
what about the big tight ends? I just want to make sure I bring it up and cover the bases here. What about Chamon Mateer?
He could be
like his receiving yards?
Wouldn't be against it. I don't know. It's kind of a tougher matchup for tight ends, I guess. Tight ends not named Jake Brenningstool all year.
That's a good point. All right. Well, I wouldn't mind putting in that Stovall square. What do you think in his fantasy score? Or his receiving yards? 31.5 in an L game script. All right. I'll lock that in with Gibson receiving and rushing touchdown, and Quinn Ewers more than fantasy score. Okay.
That's a hilarious lineup, Krabs.
I'm locking it in. It's a 7Xer. Chat, you guys want the link to that puppy?
It's actually hilarious.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous square, or lineup. You guys want the link to that, or are you good? You won't hurt my feelings, okay? Make sure you guys also do not let the squares that I talked about earlier that I locked in this lineup that Jovan's been, he's already went over. Cam Scattaboo, more than receiving yards. Please don't let that square get swept, okay? And also the Matthew Golden rushing receiving touchdown that I'm hearing in chat might have just gotten taken off the boards.
I just locked it on. I don't think it got taken off.
Okay. We got fat girls in here. No way we got fat girls in here chirping Goots. You guys want the link? Ooh.
Goots chirp spawns.
Gosh. Let me drop the link for you guys in here. No way we got Goots and fat girls beef going on. Did I miss that over the last week?
Bumpage, dude, while we're talking about Goots.
Oh, I saw that earlier today. Yes. His rushing yards keeps getting bumped up, huh?
Yeah, fat. It's up to 43.5.
Well, hey, speaking of that game, we'll save that game for the end because that's a good one. Why don't we talk about Ohio State and Oregon a little bit more here? Because you've got an Oregon plus 2.5 play up there. Have you gone over that yet? I don't know if I want you to, but if you haven't, now's the time.
I'll tell you what, because I was right there with you when we were talking about, like, on the college football pod in the preview of Ohio State. This is the rematch that they've been looking forward to. If they were to get there, I'd be all in on them. Yes, it definitely doesn't help that everybody in the world is on them. I made a tweet last night. It's like first bet you're placing in 2025, and what do you know? BookitwithTrent spawns in with Ohio State. So yes, that's in my head a little bit, but I just even before that, I just look at this game and I'm like, are we getting duped? We just saw Ohio State play the most perfect game of football possible, and
we did.
Sure, a lot of that was the fact that Tennessee is just not good, and I've been banging that drum for a while. Nico couldn't do anything unless he was turning into Taysom Hill. Their design QB power for him half the time, and then Tennessee's defense that we thought was so good throughout the SEC season because it was dominating, shit teams, frankly, for the entire season. What happened when they played a real offense with real weapons on the outside? They got smoked. So, like, yeah, a lot of Tennessee bad in that game, a lot of Tennessee exposed. But Ohio State, I mean, Will Howard was flawless in that game. Every aspect, accuracy, the deep ball was connecting to Smith and Egbuka. Like, the run game, you got every yard against a really tough rushing defense, like every yard when you needed it. Like, everything was perfect for them. Now they have the rematch where you would expect, after they've gotten so much better throughout the regular season since that first matchup and into the postseason, this is the time they get their lick back. Seems a little too easy to me. A little too easy. And look at this game. The only time I want to back the GOATs in any sport is when they're getting significantly counted out. This feels like one of those spots. Plus, I really, as much as I don't know if I could live with myself if I bet on Will Howard in the playoffs 2 weeks in a row. I don't know if I could.
Okay. You kind of agree with Aloha Bets in the chat saying not sure Howard has ever played 2 good games in a row ever. Surely he doesn't do that again in the playoffs.
He's had some. But yeah, I mean, he's been good enough. When you have those weapons on the outside, it's really hard to look bad, I guess, necessarily, unless you're playing Michigan, who just demolishes every big team, I guess. Shout out Alabama yesterday and Jalen Milroe. But
what a joke.
Yeah. Separate conversation. That's another quarterback I've been banging the drum for a while that he sucks. So I guess maybe I was right on that. He should come back to school. But yeah, Will Howard, we'll see how he comes out. Again, I think there's going to be points in this game. So like the square over that people didn't get yesterday, I do think they get in this game. But I think Ohio State, I mean, they play a lot of bump and run because their corners are just that good. The problem is when you got so much speed on the outside at every single level, you can only win those matchups so many times against Oregon. So like, I think it's going to be a problem. I think it'll be back and forth. I think a couple guys, Evan Stewart's going to have a big game. He's like super inconsistent. I think he had like 7 for 100 and maybe a touchdown in the first matchup too. Like a lot of the wide receivers on the outside, I think are going to feast whichever way you slice in this game.
Fat Girls is asking some solid questions in chat. I'll give him that. Is the key for Ohio State even Will Howard? Oregon's run defense is bad. GNT torched them. Penn State ran for 300. Purdue ran for 200. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. He said I'm no college football sharp, but trying to get involved. Hey, don't doubt yourself, Fat Girls. Keep your head up, my man. You know, I'll go ahead and counter there and tell you why I think that maybe that's not the case. You got 2 of the Ohio State stud running backs up for touchdown squares that are normal squares after they've had, plenty of touchdowns in recent weeks. That scares me for Ohio State today for sure, even with the ticket in my pocket. So there's a counter there for me. Jovan, I don't know what you think about Fat Girl's comments there in chat.
He's not wrong. Like, I think that the running game will have definitely, like, they got what they want. Like, they got the yards they wanted at the times they needed against Tennessee, but they really didn't break off any massive runs. Like, they were getting, like, if they were lining up on 3rd and 3, they were getting 5 yards every single time on Tennessee. There'd probably be a lot more chunky runs. I guess they'll be able to move the ball down the field with the running game a lot more because, yeah, he's right. Oregon's run defense is really not all that good at all. But why it comes down to Will Howard is you have the Oregon offense on the other side that, as good as Ohio State's defense is, I don't think they're going to be able to consistently stop them. So you're going to need Will Howard to make throws. You're going to need him to make plays. You're going to need him, especially in timely situations where you're not in 2nd and short, you're not in 3rd and short. You're going to need him to make plays. And again, like, the Oregon defense is not the biggest, cult of resistance that you can have. But Will Howard's got to be on time. He's got to be perfect. He's got to be everything he was just last week in the shoe against Tennessee. I'm not a Will Howard guy. As good as he was in that game, I will pay to find out.
He does have a 31.5 pass attempt square. It's pretty fucking high. That makes me think that maybe he'll be in an all game script at least at one point in this game. Maybe it'll just be in the first half, though. You'd think they'd run the ball with their 2 stud running backs like the fucking Lions, where they have 2 just absolute dogs in their backfields. You'd think they will. We'll see if it works, right? But then I look at that pass attempt square for Will Howard and I get confused. So I don't love this game anymore. I have an Ohio State future for, I think, 0.4 units, nothing crazy. I do think Ohio State wins this game. I will have another unit on their ML in this game. But is it my favorite play today? No, it's not. And Jovan, you think we're getting bamboozled potentially here with them catching some steam and then being -2.5? I hate -2.5 lines. I feel like that shit is just always cake. more often than not. I don't care if it had to move to get there. It still gives me the EBGBs, but I'm trusting my guns. I still think the Buckeyes win this game. And I still think at the end of the day, seeing a team at -2.5, -3 some places now, catching some late steam against a team that's already beaten them this season, against a team that's a number 1 seed, against a team that's undefeated, against a team that's looked damn near unstoppable all season, I'm still trusting my guns and fading and taking Ohio State. Now, I think maybe the late game tonight could be the game where people are getting bamboozled. And I know you don't want to hear that. Okay, and I'll give you and Goots the floor here plenty. All right, but I'll tell you what I told Goots. Sure, it's a great sign that Notre Dame's now a favorite in this game. Or maybe that was earlier this morning or late last night. I'm not sure. But yeah, they're -1 in this game, Notre Dame is. But Jovan, shouldn't Notre Dame have been favorites already in this game? And I'm pretty sure Goots said in the look-ahead lines a couple weeks ago that Notre Dame was actually -2, -2.5 against Georgia in the look-ahead lines. And then they open up a dog, and now they're a favorite again. Great, but shouldn't Notre Dame be a favorite against the backup QB, especially considering how well they looked in the first round?
I wouldn't think so. Still Georgia, Krabs. Still Georgia in New Orleans. So like it's not quite a Atlanta de facto home game, but it's pretty damn close. It's like I was shocked when they were favorites at the look ahead line, even though we already knew it was going to be Gunnar Stockton. So I mean, now that they're still favorites, like short favorites, and continuing to get the little push of steam back that way on, I guess, consensus books, I'm still a little surprised.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my worry was that, earlier this week, Sharps were nuking Georgia. They moved Georgia to a favorite, and now as we get closer to kickoff, all the squares are getting their bets in on the Irish, but I'm seeing Sharps on the Irish as well. I low-key like the Irish still too. I know you do. I know Goots does as well, whether it's biased or not. People that I respect are on the Irish too. And Gootsy, I'll give you the floor here in a second, but I will not have coins on Georgia. All right, but I do think it's kind of weird that they weren't favorites already against the backup. But maybe Javon's right. Maybe it's, the respect from that program and how dominant they've been, the best program of college football, the last handful of years. Gootsy?
Yeah, I mean,
comments, thoughts on this Irish game?
I can't speak on the live movement. It is very weird. I understand what you're saying. Makes sense. I mean, I don't think it really matters. In my brain, it's like they don't know how to cap this game. It's pretty hard to pick. It's basically a pick 'em in my brain.
Sure.
But I do have meat on table square if you want.
Oh, please. Well, first off, let's go ahead and edge the people a little bit here. Can I get a score prediction on the game? How many points did the Irish win it by? Because I know you haven't won it.
I told Dave
Score
earlier
prediction.
3 touchdowns, but I'll be a little more realistic here.
Okay, good.
I do like your under. I think a lot of ground game. Clock gets milked.
Okay.
24-21.
Okay. Squeak
Close
one
to
out.
the number there, but
Squeak
still
one out by a
under.
field goal?
Yeah.
All right. And we got a hype train moving to Groove and Goots. Is that true? Wow, we do.
That is true.
Wow.
Flatwoods fella coming in resubbing. Sea Lord, 2 of our goats. OGs coming in resubbing. We appreciate you guys. Listen up, because Gootsy has a POD square in this game he wants to talk about. What do you got?
I've already seen it. A little fake QB draw over the top, over the O-line to the tight end, Mitchell Evans in the end zone. I've already seen it.
Wow.
Square up on Prize Picks, Demon. Already seen it.
Wow. Mitchell Evans meat.
I said it last week. He didn't score. This is the week.
So might be
Jovan, thoughts on Mitchell Evans finding pay dirt tonight?
Ooh, thoughts on Flatwoods fella gifting,
Okay.
I think 5 subs, and
No way.
I don't know how this like ad
sub
thing works.
Yeah.
Valorant, what is that?
I think it's 5 subs.
I don't
and then
know.
there's Twitch gives an extra.
Oh,
Wow,
they're
it's
doing that
laces.
promo again.
Yeah.
Oh, we got hella
Dwarf.
subbies coming
Dwarf
in,
resubbing
folks.
too.
Sure. Let's go, Dwarf. Dwarf Noah, what is your favorite play today in college football? Let me know in the chat, please. Looks like we got him dropping some bits as well, Jovan. He says, bro, prayers to the family and people in New Orleans. Fuck, it's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. Keep those people in your thoughts. Keep those people in your prayers. I know we don't like talking about all that stuff on here, but yes, keep those people in your prayers. That is so messed up. Stay safe out there and have a great, safe, healthy, and happy start to your new year. Okay?
C Lord also resubbing. Said he cashed this season long. With some squares.
Let's go.
WC Lord.
Sure we can. And yeah, Valorant, you're a beast. Thank you for giving out a subby to the people. We got a hype train level 3 moving and grooving. And like Goots was just saying, chats, I think if you guys give out 5 subbies, Twitch will give out, or they'll match and give out a free one as well. So that's kind of a W there. So if you're in the giving moods, trying to get some good karma, some good juju here before the game starts, maybe give out some subbies to the people if you can. If not, we appreciate you being in here and talking shop in the chat. So just stay active. We appreciate you guys. And if you don't have the coins, maybe you could send a link out to your buddies in the gambling group chat and say, hey, we're crafting up winners right now. Get involved, get in the chat on YouTube, on Twitch. Make sure you're subscribing on YouTube as well. Jovan, Goots, I think we have a promo going on right now where every couple subs we have on YouTube, we're giving out a hat and some prize picks promo. So
Mima and Peepa.
Yeah, send that puppy to Mima and Peepa.
We're like 100 away from the next goal. Pick someone, get a hat, get some PP promo.
Good.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the YouTube at Bookit Sports. It could not be easier. It could not be freer to subscribe. And you could potentially win some prize picks promo or a Bookit hat as well. Guys, we're begging you to subscribe. It takes 3 seconds. Please get involved if you haven't already. Okay? Krabs, have you seen the splits on the Georgia game? Yeah, I've seen them. I'm looking at them right now as we speak. I know Georgia's public. I know they are. But on the ML, it's pretty close to 50-50. And we'll take a peep, and that's the Green Book splits. We'll take a peep at the Pickett splits here in a moment once we get to the boards. I want Jovan to go over the rest of his college football plays, though, and then we'll circle back to my CBB and my last play. Jovan, you got one more college football play on the boards, and I believe it's in the Irish game here, right? On the ML.
Yeah, it's just Notre
Dame. Irish, go.
It's just Notre Dame. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't really think there's like a sharp or square play in this game, whether it's splits or it's some crazy angle or whatever.
Okay.
I just think this is the Notre Dame game, which I've been pointing out for a bit. I guess this matchup, even with Beck, I was kind of looking forward to it because the last handful of weeks, I know Texas had a little tougher time, but the Georgia run defense has really not been all that good. And UMass ran all over them. Georgia Tech had an absolute field day. Texas, I guess, started to wear them down a little bit towards the end. And I guess the middle of that game, they found more success. They had a little bit of a tougher time, though, but I think a lot of that was aided by the fact that Quinn Ewers couldn't make the throws when it counted. I think Riley Leonard can. And the biggest part of it that I guess is the factor is Riley Leonard with his legs, which is why I like his rushing yards so much. When you really only face 2 teams or 2 quarterbacks that get like real designed run plays that you have to worry about. And Georgia faced Jalen Milroe and they faced Haynes King, who both had well over 100 yards in both of those games on quite a few attempts. So like if I'm Mike Denbrock and I am looking at how to attack this Georgia defense, it's on the ground, which is what he wants to do anyway, but it's especially on the ground with Riley Leonard's legs. So I think that's how Notre Dame wins this game. They keep it on the ground. They're physical enough to hang with Georgia in the trenches. And you have Riley Leonard, who I do think can make the throws over the top to hurt that defense, where they've actually been a little more susceptible than people would think on first look. So I feel like they're going to pound the ball quite a few times with Love and Leonard, and then the throws over the top, they're going to hurt. So I think you're going to get that big shot. Maybe it's to Mitchell Evans on a little like fake QB draw trick play like Goots is saying. I don't know. But I think the offense is going to have some success today. So I'm very in on that. Also, maybe it's too easy to fade Gunnar Stockton, but everybody got so bricked after watching that one drive of Gunnar Stockton football. The first drive of the second half against Texas, and they already deemed him better than Carson Beck, apparently. After that first drive, he threw 2 passes beyond 5 yards. Like it's, you have a lot of time to game plan and get it together. So am I saying that he's going to be all bubble screens and all that, for the entirety of this game? No, absolutely not. You've had a month about the game plan, but he's not proven to me anything that he's better than Carson Beck just yet. I want this Notre Dame defense to show up, put pressure on him, make him prove it. Yes, is it cool that he can get, extend more plays with his legs than Carson Beck? Absolutely. It's probably a needed aspect of this game against Notre Dame, but I'm going to pay to find out. It's Notre Dame defense, even though they've been a little shorthanded, a little banged up throughout the year, still damn good. So I will pay to find out.
Looks like we got Arizona State about a punt right now on 4th and 4. Trying to give the people an update here. Holy shit, that got blocked.
Oh, it did not get blocked, Krabs. He got that off.
Oh, that did not get blocked.
Yeah.
Is there a flag coming?
Yeah, roughing the kicker, first down.
I bet. So I am eons behind, and you guys have already seen the end of this game probably. Another final score. Shit. That's not a good start. That's not good for a team total under when you run into the punter. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's about to be a first, isn't it, Goots? Fuck.
Yeah, it is.
Is it roughing or running? Oh my God.
And bro was getting reamed
either way.
out on the sidelines.
Either way, it's a first because it's 4th and 4. So
Yeah.
shit.
Didn't really matter what it was.
Shit. Are you kidding me, dudes? That's all right. Maybe that's the wake-up call Texas needs to get going. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. Okay. Yeah, Jovan, any other comments on the Irish before we move and groove?
Not too much. I guess it kind of encompassed all of the Notre Dame thoughts. Like, again, my square for this game is Riley Leonard rushing yards, which even though it's gotten bumped up like over 10 yards, I think at this point, I'd still would take it if you're not involved already. So I think it's a big part of the game plan. You really didn't have to run much against Indiana, partially because they were up a ton, but also because they were getting whatever they wanted with the pass game, because Indiana's secondary is their weak point, or was their weak point. So I think that's going to be a part of the game plan. So that's my square for that game. And if you're getting Georgia stuff, I do think ETN's going to have a pretty big day involvement-wise. So if there's anything I'm taking Georgia side, it's probably with him.
All right. Gosh, man, I wish I was in that building right now with Rab and LC. That place is probably going bonkers, dudes.
Electric.
Bonkers. Watching the Skycast right now. I kind of like that view.
Skycast.
See if Levesque can make something happen. No way he just caught that ball, dude. Holy smokes. All right, Arizona State.
Krabs, you are
They got a 3rd down here.
eons behind on the Skycast.
Literally,
Okay.
eons.
Maybe the Skycast is
the
not
Skycast.
No way you're a
be...
Skycast guy.
I might be the only one out there who prefers the Skycast.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
crazy.
2 plays behind. So I'll go ahead and I'll let chat go and give me updates then. You guys let me know. Let me know once Arizona State scores here immediately because I know it's coming. Let's get to Louisville. Let's talk about some college basketball for the first time today, and damn, it feels good. Guys, enjoy your college football, enjoy your NFL while you can, but in a matter of a couple weeks here, it's going to be all college basketball. And don't forget where to get your winners from. These 2 gents up here, these 3 gents, including Goodsey, who loves some CBB himself. I like Louisville today, Jovan. They haven't beaten UNC since NAM, or since 2019 at least, the last 5 games. They have not beaten them in forever. Well, they're catching some steam. They flipped from a short dog to a fave against a UNC team that I think is a fraud. I don't think Hubert Davis is a good coach. I take Pat Kelsey over Hubert Davis, to be completely honest with you. And I think Louisville, now they're getting a little healthier. They're getting a little confidence back after a horrid start to the season. Some bad losses, but they're only playing 7 or 8 guys. Pat Kelsey needs to play 9 or 10 guys, and they're starting to round into form here. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. And Jovan, although it hasn't been pretty, like they only beat Eastern Kentucky by 12, thought it was interesting seeing this team for the first time in a while be a favorite and catch some steam against the Tar Heels. And I just don't think the Tar Heels are that good. I'll ride with my guy Pat Kelsey and the Louisville Cardinals flipping from a dog to a fave against UNC. Big and bad Tar Heels. They stink. They're not good this year. I'm not buying in. I'm not a Hubert Davis guy. I'm not an RJ Davis guy. And I think it's Louisville all day today. They get the win. I'll take them on the ML.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little scarred from how many times Louisville has been somewhat sharp at home, but
yep,
I can't ignore the line flip with you. I'm in agreement there. It's a strange game. I feel like but sharp spots start to become a lot more sharp when you're at the front end of conference play. I think they've had like an ACC game or 2 on the front end before it like non-con officially ended, but this is the time where you strike. So this could be it. It's like a weird matchup too, because it's an undersized team against a 5-out undersized team. So Louisville can kind of do whatever they want. Pat Kelsey's probably foaming at the mouth.
Putin Loves Prize Picks just came in and said the Notre Dame game got postponed until tomorrow. Is that cap?
No way it got postponed.
How would that happen?
Because of the
why would that happen?
Attack thing.
Yeah, because of what happened in New Orleans. I'm only seeing that like their Sugar Bowl statement on it. I don't see any tweets from them about it being moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh, man. Well, very curious to see what happens. All right. Either way, keep those people down there in your prayers, and please just hope that everything goes safely and smoothly. As we get a follow coming in from Andrea Jennings, W there, guys. We had a hype train moving and grooving. Flatwoods Fella has been giving out subbies left and right. Jay West 26 asked for a subby. He said, let me get blessed up. And Flatwoods Fella said, hold my beer. I'll go ahead and bless up the kid with a subby. We appreciate you, Flatwoods. You're a beast. Okay. Thank you, buddy. All right, Jovan. I got one more play for the peeps that I haven't talked about yet. let's go ahead and go over it as we get another follow coming in from Drilla Wick W's. All right, one more play. Notre Dame, Georgia, under 45.5. Jovan, very curious to hear your thoughts on the under in the Notre Dame game tonight. I just think the lights will be too bright for both squads, and we'll see defenses shine, especially the Irish defense. Look, all that talk, playing a little bit of devil's advocate with that spreads, I can't do it and bet this game because I'm so fucking confused. I keep going back and forth on Georgia and Notre Dame. I can't figure out who's sharp or who's not. But I do know one thing. It's that Notre Dame's defense is going to show up against the backup gunner, and Georgia's defense is going to show up against Riley Leonard and co. And sure, Riley's going to break off a couple runs, all right? But my opinion, I think they stacked the box. They tried to slow down Jeremiah Love, who's been an absolute fucking stud for the Irish in recent weeks and this season overall. And we see, Notre Dame have to beat him through the air with Riley Leonard's, although I'm sure I've already seen it. He'll break a fucking big run, seeing that number get bumped up hella. And they're also going to try to run with him more, like they've said. They preserved him all season, but when push comes to shove and they need a first down, they need some yards, they're going to utilize Riley Leonard's legs more than they did, towards the end of the year when they were trying to keep him healthy. So I like that square and angle, but I think Georgia's defense in this game stands up and shows out. Haven't heard anybody talk about their defense all season, really, but the Notre Dame Irish team, when the lights are bright in prime time, I've already seen it. They might win, but it's not going to be because of a blowout. It's not going to be because of a high-scoring affair. They're going to win because of their defense. And I don't see more than 21, maybe 24 points for the winning team in this game. I think one team will be in the teens still, and this game sneaks under the total. Late night, prime time, give me the under.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Notre Dame against a backup quarterback. So as much as I do want to lean into their offense, it's hard to say that I would be in love with a ton of points in that game. So, yeah, I for the most part align with you there.
Sure. All right. Wow, it did get postponed.
Officially?
Yeah, people are saying 24 hours per the local news.
I'm not going to say officially until I see the Sugar Bowl actually.
Yeah, I would like to see
Good call.
A Sugar Bowl
Good
tweet.
call, Gutsy.
Yeah.
Good call, Gutsy. We got a Picks with Weege 5U max on that under? No way. Holy smokes. That could be the difference, folks. All right. That's good. Jovan, what are your thoughts on the total in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't say I love a lot of points. I think Notre Dame's offense against Georgia's defense will probably do a little better than I think people are thinking, just because Georgia's defense has been pretty locked down in all the big games outside of, I guess, Alabama, where that was one of the greatest games of the season. But I do think they'll find success in the running game, so that runs the clock. You got Notre Dame against a quarterback in Gunnar Stockton making his first official start, a guy who's been peppering at the line of scrimmage in that second half against Texas. So it's not really saying that there's going to be a lot of big splash plays in that game. So, yeah, that goes right with an under. I don't have anything against that.
All right. Good to hear. Good to hear. Did we go over our prize pick squares that we all brought today? Did we go over all of them yet?
Did we? I know I talked about Golden Touchdown. I guess I didn't talk about
the other
Evan
Tutty
Stewart.
Square. Yeah. Let's talk about
the most weirdly inconsistent guy on Oregon for whatever reason.
And you got a feeling he's the one guy catching a touchdown, and let's hope it's only one because I got that Dylan Gabriel less than passing tutties we're going to talk about here in a moment too. Should be a good look.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like I'm reaching just out of nothing because he dominated Ohio State in that first matchup. I don't remember if he got in the end zone, but he had like 7 for 110 or something near that. He was, I don't know, crucial for them in that game. He hasn't really been much for the last couple weeks, but that's just the story of his season. He's been either having great games, greatest games of all time, where he gets peppered with a bunch of targets, or he's barely a fashion of the offense. Like I don't really understand why, because he's ridiculously talented, and I think one of their biggest assets, just period, as an offense. And but with Ohio State specifically, I don't think it was some accident or it just happened to be Evan Stewart day against them, which is why he went off the first time. It's because, oh my golden goosage. But I think it was because he had a big catch, I think. I don't think he got in the end zone.
All right.
Big catch.
Oh, shit.
Big for
Okay. All right. Well, let's hope the connection is strong there and he finds him in the end zone. Reward him. Keep going.
Yeah. Wow, those for 54. Jesus
Christ.
Huge.
His yards is at 55. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah. He had his demon at 89.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, and a touchdown right after that.
Okay.
Not from him.
Of course not. Of course not.
That was the easiest drive of all time.
Mm.
Easiest drive of all time.
And not good for the team total under for Arizona State. They're putting the ball right back in their hands. Shit. Not going according to plan.
A lot of time.
What else for Evan Stewart? Why else do you think he finds pay dirt today?
Well, so for the same reason that I think like Golden was going to be a big part of this game for Texas, because you have an oversized, wide receiver against smaller corners. So I think you're going to have big plays. It's Ohio State bump and run. So like as good as their corners are, if you're playing bump and run against a lot of these wide receivers, Evan Stewart specifically, for the entirety of 4 quarters, you're not going to win all those matchups. So like Evan Stewart, I think, is their biggest asset in winning those matchups. So I think probably more so than Golden, because like Golden, I just like this big play ability. Evan Stewart, I think he can take over this game in 50 different ways. And I think touchdown is where it starts, but you're buying low on a guy who has not really been the biggest part of the offense for a couple weeks. But whenever they play teams like this, he magically reappears and is Megatron. So I think we're getting one of those games.
All right. Well, let's hope that's the one and only passing touchdown in this contest. And the reason why I'm saying that, chat, is because my other prize pick square is fading Dylan Gabriel and taking his less than 1.5 passing tutties. So surely that goes well. But Jovan, I mean, look, you're on his passing yards more than. Maybe they get down to the goal line and they run the ball. That's the only fucking chance I have. We'll see how it plays out. But I am taking Dylan Gabriel, less than 1.5 passing tutties. This is scaring the heck out of me, though, seeing that Evan Stewart square up there on the sharp report. Somebody's winning and somebody's probably losing. We'll see how it plays out. Okay. What else is going on right now, chat? Barkley not playing. Yep. Already saw that. Texas scoring. Not to our guy, but that's okay. 7-3 right now with 8 minutes left in the first. All right. Jovan, you want to talk about some college basketball for today?
Sure.
There's some other games on besides Louisville and UNC. You want to head to the CBB boards?
Why not?
Sure. Let's get to it. Chat, let me know if you guys have any CBB plays, angles, or games you want us talking about. Okay. Billy the Kid wants an NBA peek. We'll see if we have some time for some NBA action as we get Paul Polo coming in, dropping a follow as well. Love to see that. W follow. We appreciate you. Okay. Jovan, a couple college basketball games already going off right now, but I'll go to the next one up, and it involves your Cal Bears. Any thoughts on Cal versus Pitt this afternoon?
Yeah, I like this over, and I will be taking
that. Okay.
Simple, I guess, because, I don't know, Cal's defense is horrendous. Pitt, whenever their offense is clicking, nobody can really stop them, but both these teams like get to the rim a ton. And like Cal's 3-point defense is a lot worse than their rim defense, but you put them in the pick and roll, they are cones. It's like that's pretty much the entirety of Pitt's offense. So I feel like they're going to struggle. I know both these teams are coming off a long layoff, so like I don't really love to back teams for points off of that, but when you can get to the rim and get to the free throw line pretty much at will, I guess my concerns for that kind of go out the window a little bit. So I like points in this game.
Look at the bets on the under as well and pick it. People are betting the under, more popular. Interesting.
It's pretty surprising.
You don't see that very often, folks. You don't see a public under. They don't grow on trees. We got Book of Chew in the chat. Sure. Chew, happy late birthday, my man. Hope you had a good one. Okay. Leggett out for Pitt. Ooh, interesting. And that total's still that high? Huh. All right. Krabs, look at Jalen Duran, assist square. Sebernat, save that for when we get to NBA if we do. As we get a subby coming in from Baum, Gardner, Jackson. W, using your subby on Prime. We appreciate you, Beast. Okay? All right, Jovan, let's take a peep at the rest of the CBB boards. We got UConn on the road against DePaul. And a spread hanging around, 10.5, 11, 11.5, depends on where you're looking. Do you think DePaul, the new look team, with Ohio State's old coach, you think they're keeping this game close against UConn? Big and bad?
Kind of do. I don't know if I'll get there in terms of betting it, but I do think this is the game that not many people are going to want to take DePaul because UConn's been looking like they're getting it together heading into conference play, and they've been pretty damn good for a majority of the last couple of weeks, big layoff included. But This does feel like the sneaky spot where a team that's going to spread the floor and shoot over top of them can do it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm bought into DePaul. I think they're fucking solid right now. And I know they had some bad games after a good start to the season. They kind of fell off a little bit, lost to Providence, lost to St. John's, lost to Northwestern, but they clobbered Loyola Maryland in their last contest. So hopefully they can carry some of that confidence into this home game, I believe, against UConn. Yep, it is in Chicago. W's. They need all the help they can get. But this is a new look DePaul team. This ain't your Mimar or Peepaws DePaul. I like the way they're moving and grooving. They're 9-4 right now. They looked good in that game against Loyola and UConn, although they look like they're back on track. They've won a bunch of games in a row now. They barely, won these last couple of games against Butler and Xavier. So they're not playing at their best. And I think anybody who's watched a UConn game this season can agree that UConn does not look like the same wagon they did the last 2 seasons, at least not yet. I think they're fadeable. I think the play here is DePaul. I do. I think it's the Blue Demons. What about Drake and UIC? You got this great story going on with Drake, Jovan. Obviously, yesterday we see Coach DeVries and his son Tucker for WVU as they just went there for their first year. They just beat Kansas, right, on the road. Crazy win. Good for them. But looks like Drake's doing pretty well as well, Jovan. They're undefeated this season. They bring up the D2 coach. He brings all his players over, and they're undefeated, still 12-0, but they're only laying 6.5 to UIC. What the hell's going on with this game? I feel like I don't want to fade Drake at this point. They might just be a team of destiny, and they're rolling right now. They're cooking, and fading streaks is not smart overall. But I'm definitely intrigued by that short spread for UIC.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that I want to go anywhere near fading Drake in this game, and maybe it's the right spot to do it, I guess. And there he goes. Texas punt return to the crib.
Shut up.
Thanks for playing, Rav.
Dude,
it's a good try.
Destroying them. What the hell?
It was a great try.
Well, really. You got Texas spread on your sharp report, so a lot of game left.
Dude, they can't move the ball to save their lives. They're putting Scatterville out wide. Like,
hey, that's what we want. That's what we want, Goots. Couldn't ask for a better script. Couldn't ask for a better
Lord,
script.
You cannot ask for a better script. You're right. Interesting. Would have loved that touchdown to be off of Quinn Ewer's hand, though. Throwing another pass. But, Lord, I am on Arizona State team total under 19.5. And I just saw the touchdown on Skycast. Why am I still watching Skycast?
Krabs, we got to get off Skycast, man.
I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'll get my updates from chat and Goots. That's all I need. Who needs an updated game? I want to see the play 2 minutes later on Skycast. Okay? Unbelievable. All right. Looks like LC's Longhorns absolutely balling right now. They're balling. They're going nuts down there. Holy smokes. 75-yard punt return? Are you kidding me? Insane. Hey, a lot of ball game left, chats. We'll see. There was times when that Penn State-Boise State game felt dead in the first half, and they made it a game, at least minimally.
If they answer here, we got a game. If they don't, it's over.
It might be kicked. Yeah. Okay. Big drive coming up. Goots, let me know if anything happens, please, because I'm an hour behind on my stream. All right, a couple other CBB games here. I talked about Louisville. I like them on the ML. They're beating UNC today at home, guys. So if you're looking for a CBB play, 6 p.m. Eastern. All right, we're taking the Cardinals against UNC. Should be a good look. Any thoughts on Stanford Clemson? I don't really like anything in that game, but I want to ask you.
Just looking at that game. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup to watch, especially in the paint, which not they can't spread the floor, but Renault against Shefflin is going to be absolute cinema. I feel like that's one of the – I don't want to say one of the only because there are some good matchups out there for Shefflin and Renault on both sides, but probably one of the only guys I would say could neutralize the others. So I feel like not many times you're going to see a Clemson total, I guess, nearing 130s, unless they're playing like a super, super defensive team, which Stanford is not really that. So it feels pretty indicative that you're going to get, I don't know, I think some defense in that game. 142 feels awfully low. So I kind of like that under.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of like Stanford, to be honest, but I don't know if I want to fade Clemson at home. And Stanford's got that good record. I just like that they're coming off that bad L.
Yeah.
All right. I'd probably lean the Cardinal there and lean Stanford. But maybe I'm biased and have, maybe I'm thinking about the Louisville Cardinals. Maybe that's in my brain. I could see that under, though. Okay. What about Villanova and Butler? I've seen a lot of people on the Bulldogs today at home against Villanova trying to get right. They've lost a bunch of games in a row. Has not been pretty, but Villanova's coming off a loss as well. What do you think about this game? Villanova, Butler.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything in that game. Can't stand either of these teams. Butler definitely does not have an answer for Eric Dixon, but that really hasn't mattered too much if you're Villanova. He can cook, and they can still lose or look terrible on offense outside of him, so I wouldn't be shocked if that's the way this game goes, but I will not be putting a single cent on this game.
Okay. And that's fair. I'd say I lean Butler. Obviously, looking at recent history for both these teams, it's a crappy play. Taking Butler, who's lost a bazillion games in a row, only getting 1.5 to big and bad Villanova, who's played solid this season, but nothing to write home about. Would lean Butler, TBD if I'll play it. But yeah, I like the +1.5 there, and I'm just a sucker for a +1.5 in CBB. I feel like it's almost like +2.5 in NFL. Nobody ever takes it. Nobody wants to take it, and I feel like it ends up paying.
Yeah.
C-Lord, I am on Arizona State team total under 19.5. Okay. And Krabs just saw the kickoff from the pick six. That might be the joke of the day. W's. I'll give you that. All right. Let's keep moving to groove in a couple other CBB games, Jovan, and then we can go to NBA or NHL, whatever you want. Bradley, Indiana State. I love this conference. I love betting both these teams. Got a lot of respect for both these mid-majors. I think Bradley's a team of destiny this year, Jovan. But Indiana State, low-key, has their number, and they're coming off a loss in their last game to Ohio State where they hung around, but they didn't cover. But they still put up 83 points against Ohio State. It was just their defense that couldn't stop a parked car. Well, Bradley's defense they should be able to score more points against Bradley than Ohio State in this one. Do you think it's Indiana State? Do you think they beat them for a third year in a row, Jovan? They've had their number the last couple seasons.
Yeah, and I know I've told you this. I absolutely hate backing teams, and I guess it more so happens in non-conference, but it's the transition to conference right now. But teams that are coming off of performances against bigger name teams where they at least look good in a part in doing it, and now you get a lesser opponent, I guess, on paper, which I know Bradley's pretty good, but name value, Bradley, Ohio State is very, very different. I hate backing teams off of that. So, especially when there's a plus sign next to their name. So I would not mind getting involved with Bradley. Snapping the streak. Would you say it's been 3 years?
Yeah, or at least the last 2 times they played. I forget if these guys play twice a year. They do play twice a year in this conference, like most.
No, so 2 years. 2 years, 3 games.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Huh. Maybe it's just Bradley team of destiny this year. Some respect opening up -4.5 against a team that's beaten them the last 2 times they played. Okay. And then look at the splits here on Pickett, Jovan. The Bradley or Indiana State's public.
Yeah, and I know it's, I don't know, not the same Bradley defense, I guess. Like they've been scoring, I guess, a lot more. They played some more higher scoring games, but for them to be favored on the road with the total as high as it is, I know it's an Indiana State game, so there's a big tax there, but interesting to me. I'll say that. So if there's any side I think is going to win out in this game, it's probably going to be the Bradley offense.
Okay. The Braves. All right. Any late night games you're eyeing, Jovan? You got Citadel, Sanford, Valpo, Missouri State, and Belmont, UNI. You like anything in those games?
Can't say I got too much there, Krabs.
Okay. And I don't blame you. God, Arizona State looks bad. Jeez.
Really bad. Holy.
That play is going to look cool in the Skycast. I'll tell you right now, it did, because I just saw it 2 minutes later. It was pretty cool. All right. Ooh, W Cones Cake. Appreciate you getting involved today. Jovan, NBA, or you want to talk about that one NHL game? Where do you want to go?
I mean, I do not really have anything on the one NHL game, to be frank with you. So,
okay.
Can we move to the NHL?
What about NBA?
Or NBA, I meant.
Yep. Hey, the Wizards look sharp today. I'll say it.
Do they?
The Wizards look sharp today.
Do they, Krabs?
Last time I said this, they won.
You did? Yeah. Do you remember that?
5 wins this year. Yep. They look sharp today. And them and the Bulls, these games, I mean, look, they're the 2 worst teams in the NBA, although the Bulls record would disagree with me there, but I think we can all agree that both these teams are not very good. These games are typically weirdly close. So I don't know if there's one team we can beat. It's the freaking Bulls, especially at home on New Year's Day. What do you think, Goots?
I want to shit on Mikey real quick. The other day when the Wizards played the Knicks, he woke up and sent a text chirping the Wizards in the chat. Like, we're waking up
Yeah,
chirping the Wizards.
they went to OT.
And then I immediately went to the book and placed Wizards plus 13. Yeah, I mean, he's fading the Irish today, so I'm just going to chirp him today. That's just crazy work out of Mikey.
Goots woke up pissed off.
Yeah.
Good.
Crazy work.
And with that being said, Gootsy, it could be the Wizards today again, man. Getting 6 points at home against the Bulls, a team they typically play pretty well. Don't let the Wiz kids get hot. They've won 1 game in their last 5. That's more than they typically do. It could be them today.
Yeah. You know what worries me, though? I know they ended up losing the second game by 20. So, I mean, it's technically not like they played all that well, but they played pretty well twice in a row at home against the Knicks. Now you get to play the Bulls and finally, like, let it all out. I feel like that's not a recipe for the Wizards' success, especially since they've been chilling at home playing the next 2 games in a row over the holidays. You got some very unserious characters in that locker room, Krabs. Very unserious.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm no scientist, but I do know that last night was New Year's Eve, and if the Bulls were in town, guarantee you they were out. Wizards players probably joined them. Maybe it's the under in this game.
Might be. That total,
I mean, these guys
kind of low.
Had to be boozing. It's low for a Bulls-Wizards game. Typically, these totals are in the 240s or maybe even shit. It's like a world record. You call Guinness.
The first one this year did end on 135, or 235, but the total was 245.
Okay.
And that's a little surprising. Maybe the Wizards are a tad gassed coming off of back-to-back games where they're playing up much tougher defensive teams.
Yeah, Jordan Poole probably hasn't slept, right?
Yeah,
there's no way he didn't go out last night in DC.
He's been up for years.
Yeah, interesting. Alex Sarr's been good in high-paced games. He's heating up. Don't let Sarr get hot, folks.
He has actually been playing pretty well. I've been seeing that. Been keeping tabs.
Good. Chat's asking if I'm serious with the Wizards being sharp today. If you can't tell, I mean, I'm not obviously joking, making fun of this, moose shit team that I root for, but I do think they are the sharp sides in this game, all jokes aside. Will I be betting them? No, I'm not betting the Wizards today. Grow up. But I lean that way. And I also lean the under in this game. Okay? All right, what else in the NBA, Jovan? You like anything in Orlando, Detroit?
Yeah, God, no. Keep me away from that Moose game, please.
Okay. What about Utah and the Knicks?
Could be intrigued. Could absolutely be intrigued.
Could it be the Jazz?
I don't know, dude. They were just like the Knicks were on the other side of just being on the road back-to-back games in DC, where frankly they played for 75% of the 2 games combined, not really all that well. So like now you get to face another shit team, come back home. Maybe this is where they just let it all out. I know they've been really, really good, but I don't know if that's slowing down.
We got Seaburnett coming in, giving his daily sharp NBA squares. He says, Krabs, take a look at Jalen Duran assists and Jordan Poole points. Well, I looked at Jalen Duran assists, and that's the greenest square I've ever seen in my life, so I'll be taking that less than. That's for sure. Let me take a look at Jordan Poole points and see if we can maybe craft up. It might be crazy, but an NBA prize picks lineup. And it looks like Jordan Poole is not scoring 20 today. Jesus.
I mean, after New Year's, dude.
We just talked about how we like the under in the game. We talked about how Jordan Poole probably went out until, he probably still hasn't even gotten home yet. Billy the Kid wants an NBA lineup. Anybody in chat got any more angles for the NBA? You guys got any thoughts? Prize pick squares, angles in the association for tonight that we can go over and talk about? Now is the time. All right. Those 2 squares are going in something for me, Jovan. Those 2 less than's, by the way. Has to be done.
Figures.
Maxi points with no Embiids.
Yeah, they're playing Kings.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really say anything against it. He's going to chuck. He has a great matchup. So, can't really say anything
the total
negative.
in that game's coming down.
Yeah, I mean, You got guys out. It's typically the way it'll move unless something really weird is off. And in that case, we would have taken the over.
That's a good point. Huh. Scotty Barnes, PRA. Take a peep at that one. Let's go look at Scotty Barnes, PRA, 36.5. Whoa. That's pretty Reds. Is Scotty Barnes showing up tonight? That total's dropping as well, though. But I like that Toronto's a favorite. Obviously, they're home, but they haven't won a game in forever.
Yeah, that could be the difference.
Thoughts on Scotty Barnes, PRA?
Wouldn't have anything against
tell
that.
me. Yeah, you won't tell me otherwise? Okay.
We'll not do that.
A couple others from chats. Goga. Oh, my God. We're going back to this guy again. Goga, points and rebounds from chat. Let me take a peep at his points and rebounds. 22.5. I don't want to take the more than on Goga. It's too green. He's been literally Shaq. I'm good. But what a story. How about Goga being him? He's unbelievable. Another one from chat, Jovan, Malik Beasley points.
Dude, he is
Take a peep
Curry.
at that one.
He's Curry. I assume that's probably got to be a fade, right?
Yeah, any chance you want to fade him today and take the less than on his points?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, against the Magic, you could gladly – or wait. That's not who they're playing, is it?
Yeah, it is. Detroit versus the Magic.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, I could still be into that.
Huh. Okay. I mean, I'm looking at 4 squares that we've talked about so far that I'm liking. We got Jalen Duran, less than 1.5 assists. Jordan Poole, less than 20.5 points after going out clubbing all night. Malik Beasley, less than 13.5 points. And Scotty Barnes, more than 36.5 PRA. Now, I don't want to just lock it in right now. We got a couple minutes here, but those are some squares that I'm liking right now.
Okay? Tell you what, I woke up and, I mean, just because I was looking at the Heat game, and I think Jimmy is supposed to be back today. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but something that I just kind of felt like was going to happen is with the shorthanded Pelicans, they're probably going to find a way to stick in this game, and we're on New Year's with a guy who loves to play in Miami, and DeJounte Murray. I think he goes off today.
Do you?
Yeah, he's been he's kind of forced to be their primary ball handler right now. So I feel like this is the game where he's asking questions for a trip dub. Not that he's been super far from that in the first place, but.
Damn. Well, I was hoping you were just going to say points because that one's red and then his other squares aren't too red because he's been grabbing hella rebounds and assists. But you want to lean into that angle a little bit and just take his PRA?
Yeah, I would not mind that at all.
Okay. DeJounte Murray, more than 31.5 PRA? Wow. Interesting. Okay. I mean, that's a 5 guys that's looking pretty sharp. Let's see if we can find anything better. Let me take a peep at chat. We got hella Rex coming in. Holy smokes. Hero might have a bad game after getting slammed. I don't know what to say about that. Straight Locks has a lot of plays. Capella rebounds, assists. Maxi points. Bam PR. Sexton less than assists. Take a peep at that Sexton square. They don't have his less than assists, though, on Prize Picks, my man. Levine points from DJ Fitz. DJ Fitz, how we doing? Hope you had a great New Year, my man. Good to see you. Good to hear from you.
Noted Krabs guy.
That is DJ a Krabs Fitz guy right there. DJ Fitz likes Levine points. I'm not taking that against the Whiz Kids in the game. We have the under in, but DJ Fitz appreciate the heart and the effort. Okay. Krabs, look at Josh Giddey rebounds and assists. Okay, well. Let me look at Josh Giddey rebounds and assists. Where is it? And that's an extremely green square. Thoughts on Josh Giddey fading him against the Wizards? Well, the Wizards don't play much defense, but we do like the under in the game. I don't know if I like that one better than the Wizard squares we already have in there.
Yeah, I don't know. That game, you got to have some stones, dude. Take any unders, even if we like the under in the game in that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. I think we're good with Jordan Poole, and we keep it simple. Okay. Anything else, chat? Last call on NBA squares. I kind of like that 5-man. We got Jalen Duran, less than 1.5 assists, Jovan. You got Jordan Poole, less than 20.5 points. You got Malik Beasley, less than 13.5 points. And then here come the fun more thans. Scotty Barnes, more than PRA. And DeJounte Murray, more than PRA. Is that a 5 guys that has legs? Or at least
That
one
could be
leg?
a sneak NBA 5 guys.
Okay. Power player flex.
We flex that puppy. NBA, New Year's NBA.
I mean, come on. Yeah, let's give ourselves a break here, right? Let's flex that pup. Chad, you guys want the link to that NBA lineup? You going to tail that puppy? Let me know. I'm going to send it in the chat either way. Okay? Levine snapping for you, late birthday presents. He always cooks against the freaking Wizards, I feel like. I did drop the link in chat. If anybody wants to tail that 5-man NBA lineup, 100 to win a rack, I put the link in the Twitch chat. Okay? Dubs. All right. Well, Jovan, any other NBA angles? I want to give you the floor here real quick in the late night games. Before we move on to the squad ride, the first one of the year, any angles in the association?
I don't really have too much, to be honest with you.
That's okay. Just want to make sure all of our bases are covered here. Chat, last call. Any NBA plays on the books that you want to bring up that could be potential squad ride options? And I'm making sure that I'm looking at all these games and nothing's getting swept. I did it earlier as well. I didn't love anything. And looking at the line moves, I'm not loving anything really right now. I think Toronto wins that game. Am I confident enough to put coins on it? No, and Brooklyn stinks as well. So seeing Toronto as a favorite at home is not the craziest thing, even if they're on that losing streak. So although I lean Toronto, I'm not going to play them. And I lean the Wizards as well, not under in that game. So TBD if I'll bet that. Probably won't with all this great college football on and CBB, but I like those plays. I do. The Swoller Bear in chat likes the Pistons in this game on the ML. They are a favorite against Orlando. Jovan, any thoughts on that one before we move on to the squad ride?
Yeah, not too much, to be honest with you. I could flip a coin.
Do you think that's weird that they're a favorite, though? I guess that was my point. And I'm going to look at the lineups right now and see who's out.
Yeah, I mean, the Magic have been super short-handed for a while now.
Everybody's hurt. Yep. So that makes sense. All right, I'm off.
Yeah.
Good. In the NBA, guys, we actually buy bad news. We do not lean into good news. So if anything, I'd probably bet the Magic barely as a dog in that spot. Okay? Dubs. Nuggets, worst team against the spread this year. Somebody in chat's trying to get me to bet on the Nuggets.
No,
I don't know if I can bet them.
Fading the Nuggets has been, you know what the Nuggets are, Krabs? The Nuggets are like the Preds in hockey.
Oh god,
they just get a ridiculous amount of line respect. I wouldn't say it's for no reason like the Preds, because obviously you got 2-time MVP and
at least the Nuggets have done it before.
The Nuggets have done it before. It's just like they continue to get line respect and not cover all year.
Wow, Bryce James commits to Arizona.
No way.
That's pretty cool.
In the Big 12.
I'm excited to see Bryce James. I think he's got a chance to actually be good and not just get a handout NBA spot. But we'll see. Okay?
Be huge.
Jovan. Sure. He could be the next Caleb Love. You want to get to the squad ride? We got about 5 minutes left.
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Gootsy, you want to run that puppy? I want to see that damn train. It's been a while. All right, chat. Squad rides last year. Let me go ahead and give you the record once again. 127, 114 and 10. Nothing crazier to write home about, but it was over 50%. So we at least made some coins, but not as good as the year before. So we're going to bounce back in 2025 and get the year started out with a W in the squad ride column. Knock on wood, so I don't jinx that puppy. Okay, Jovan, I know we're playing, a little Battle of Berg in a couple of these games for the Sharp Report plays, but we got other plays as well. Where do you think we start for the squad ride? Looking at your plays, Oregon plus 2.5. We might have to leave out along with Ohio State. I don't know if I'm confident enough to tell you no Notre Dame.
I wouldn't be mad at going Notre Dame or that under, I guess.
How are you feeling about the Irish?
I feel great, Krabs. Always do, always will. when I am betting the
know.
Irish because I don't want to do it. Other than this year, like this year, I've been doing it a lot more than usual, but I'm usually a big Notre Dame fader.
Yeah. You know when to play him, when to fade him. That's for sure. Do we? Oh, chat's saying potentially postponage, so maybe we keep that one out, right?
Forgot about that.
It's not. I'm not
still haven't seen
confirming
anything really
from
yet.
the Sugar Bowl or ESPN or nothing. So I don't know.
I know, but do you think, Goots, is it maybe in our best interest to maybe leave that game out of this poll just in case that ends up being true? It probably is.
Non-biased opinion. Yeah.
Okay. All right. As much as you'd love to have the Irish in here, and I appreciate you saying that, I do, because I think that's the right move. Let's keep that game out just in case it gets postponed. Okay. Yeah, we can probably leave the Ohio State Oregon game out as well, Jovan. Unfortunately, since we're playing Berg, I can't get there with that over, man. I cannot get there with that over. We're gonna have to make do in college basketball here, probably. Okay, I know. I mean, it's not even on your Sharp report. I would hope it would be on the Sharp report if you loved it that much.
Louisville and that Cal over.
That starts.
Cal over
like
starts
now.
too soon.
That's framework.
Yeah.
It starts in like 2 minutes.
Oh.
Now Louisville ML is. I mean, that's probably gonna go in here. I know that gives us bad vibes from the past. I mean, they've hurt us, right? But Jovan, we might not have a choice here, man. It might have to be Pat Kelsey and the Cardinals.
We really don't, Krabs.
No. We're putting them in here. Louisville on the ML. Let me make sure they're not too juiced. Yeah, they're good. All right. What about Stanford Clemson? We could take Stanford spread, or we could take that under.
I would not mind taking that under. I like that under. I'm playing that under.
You're playing that under.
Yeah.
Okay. We might have to put that puppy in here, although that starts up in 2 hours. So does that even help?
Yeah, I guess it really doesn't help either. I guess it's Louisville game and after.
You could put the Bradley Braves in this bitch.
The Bradley Braves, huh?
Could just they treated us well last time we took them.
They did. People forget that.
Big Bubs, we appreciate you listening at work, my man. And guys, that's a great point. You don't always have to be watching and super dialed. If you're going somewhere, you're doing some work, you put the earphones in or you put the iPad to the side, right? Like Rav would. Put the iPad to the side for a little bit while you're doing some work, getting some work done, and you lock in. Okay? All right. Why don't we circle back to the NBA here, man, and just talk about it for one more second. Is there a chance the Whiz Kids sneak their way in here on New Year's Day? Is there a chance?
I don't know if I can get myself to start 2025 squad rides with the Wizards, Krabs. Respectfully.
Okay.
Respectfully.
You know, that's probably what I needed to hear, to be honest. So thank you. All right. What about... I mean, dude, we don't have the greatest or biggest slate, right? Maybe we have to reach a little bit and put that Stanford Clemson under in here. It starts up a little bit earlier, right? We still have to give the people more than an hour of time, right? If we get a good sign off here, I'm down for that. What do you think?
I'd be down for that.
Okay.
I mean, we could just
put
the Notre Dame
game
game in
where
here.
we kind of have to do those things because those games are earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of moose.
Stanford Clemson under 142.5. And you were saying about the Irish.
We might just have to put something in that game in here and deal with the fallout of it.
Why don't we do that since we have confident plays in that game? And if it gets postponed, it gets postponed. I'd rather that happen than give out kick.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that, and we'll let the football gods decide?
Why don't we?
Why don't we put Notre Dame in there and the under? Because I like the under way more. I'm going to be fully transparent here. Let's put them both in there and see what happens. Okay? Chat, that's what we're going to do. All right, Gootsy, I'm sure you're keeping up here because you're fucking sharp as a tack. Louisville ML, Stanford Clemson under 142.5. And then we've got the Notre Dame ML. And the under in that game, Notre Dame, Georgia, under 45.5. 4 plays, 4 winners, and we got 6 subbies coming in. Let's fucking go. Flatwoods fella coming in, giving out 5 subbies.
Flatwoods.
And Valorant coming in, giving out another subby as well. I guess Valorant just matches every single 5 subby that's given out. That's crazy.
Shout out Valorant.
Love to see that. Let's fucking go. Dubs. DJ Fitz, how we doing, bro? Hope you had a great holiday. Chad, 4 plays, 4 winners. Louisville ML, Stanford Clemson, under 142.5. Those are both CBB plays. And then we got Notre Dame ML and Notre Dame Georgia, under 45.5. We will see how it goes. And Valorant, we appreciate you matching those subs, my man. W's. Okay? We got people in chat getting blessed up. Great vibes. Great way to start out the new year in 2025. Okay? 4 plays, 4 winners, chat. Jovan, what are you voting for, my man? Just say it.
I think you know.
Yep. Looking at Gucci right now. Click the Notre Dame button, as you should. Sure. Good. Gucci, you're awesome, bro. Big night for the Irish. Big night for Goots. Big night for Jovan.
Yeah.
Low-key big night for me, but I'm not nearly as much of a fan as those two gents are. Man, Notre Dame favorites in their first ever college football playoffs. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Happy 2025. Let's start the new year off with a bang. Yes, sir, B. Clem. We appreciate you. Dubs. It's looking like it's going to be the Irish on the ML, Jovan, for the squad rides. I'm not surprised.
What was that play from Texas? That was nicey.
I'll tell you in 3 minutes when I get to see it.
Nicey.
Okay. Chat, 4 plays, 4 winners. Get involved. If it gets postponed, it gets postponed. Okay. We will let the football gods decide. And either way, it's, we don't want to force cake today. We want to give you guys the best options, and we want to get that game involved, the late night college football one. Okay. 4 plays, 4 winners. Looks like it's going to be Notre Dame on the ML. Go Irish, go. Whether it's tonight, whether it's tomorrow, we're locking in. We're finding a fucking winner. And I think it's Notre Dame ML. Go Irish, go. All right. Chat, W's. Good to get back on the saddle today and be back on BTL. We appreciate you guys. Okay, we're going to be back tomorrow and Friday as well. So make sure you join us. Okay, and make sure you tap into Rav and LC socials. They're at the game right now, Texas and Arizona State. Feel free to roast Rav if you want right now. Maybe that'll help Arizona State get back into this game. So, chat, we appreciate you guys as always. Let's have a great 2025. Let's start the year off right with a squad ride W and taking the Irish on the ML. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Jovan,